meet you. They thought I was a lot older and a lot experienced in business, the way I spoke on the phone. So they invited me down to Hilton in London, in Hyde Park Corner. And I met up with these gentlemen. It was all directors. They were inviting me for dinner. And they were really surprised when I walked in, because I was 18 at the time. So they were like, "Are you Sammy Hegab?" And I said, "Yes, I'm Sammy."
You're the one you've been speaking to me on the phone.
And they said, "Well, how did you learn so much about business?" But it was just all coming naturally to me. So anyway, we discussed a deal to export some of the second-hand computers, so that any of the surplus stock or any of the clearance stock, we was going to sell it on to Kenya. I had a friend down there. His father had a couple of shops. He was expanding that business, and they were looking for computers. And it was a big thing in Africa at the time. So that's how it really started. And I started putting up these posters at university, got my friends involved, offered them commission. That was the first proper business. It was called Blue Turtle Technology.
Blue Turtle
Technology, okay. BTT, not British Telecom.
BTT.
TT at the end. But I mean, very quickly, once I found myself doing business, and you know, the money started trickling, and I wasn't making a huge amount of money. Just all modest profit at the time.
Modest thousands of pounds at a time.
Modest,
yes.
Modest income.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like to boast. I don't like people looking up to me. I'm a very humble guy. Yes. So what actually happened, the idea came to me, well, you know, where are they getting the parts from? Maybe I could be their supplier.
Aha.
And I realized they were getting all the components, like the motherboard, the sound card, video card, all these things from the UK. And I thought, well, if I can get them a better deal, if I could learn a little bit about international trade, then I could make a lot more money.
Yes.
That was it. That was the start of the importing business. So I started doing a bit of research, spoke to David Beckham, not David Beckham, the football player. And he gave me a quote. Obviously, he was giving it lower. He was saying, if you could beat that price, then I'll buy from you in volumes. And that's what happened. I started reading up these books, started contacting manufacturers in China and Taiwan, and started bringing in small quantities of sound cards and video cards.
That you would give to the manufacturer.
I would sell it on to his company, Spider Computers. Unfortunately, after a while, they went out of business. I didn't really anticipate that in the future.
That's what you do learn from things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I diverted to other products,
Excellent.
Toys and other things as well.
So one of the things that I'm interested in,
absolutely,
you made a few hundreds, you made a few thousands, you made a bit more. I was told that you made a lot of sales in a few days. And that's what I want to know about. Now tell me that story.
I was going to lead to that, Tamkin.
You were going to lead to everything.
I'm going to lead
I'm going to ask you.
I was just going through a progression. I didn't want to like jump to 23 and then come down to 18.
No, come back. I want to know how you made your millions. And everyone else would want to know how you made your millions in sales.
It's not
sales.
in making millions as such. I actually attribute all the success to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be honest with you. Without Allah, as you'll realize in a moment, I couldn't have achieved a penny of sales. I couldn't have done anything at all. What actually happened, as I was progressing in business, I decided I wanted to establish a brand. So I was sourcing out innovative products, pens, lighters, book lights, that product gifts. But I wasn't really aiming at the corporate gifts market at the time. I'm just giving you the path that I was going in. So I wanted to get these products and get it into retailing like Argos and Hamleys and all these big shops. So what I decided to do, there was no better way than to do a big, massive exhibition in Birmingham, NEC. So I booked this stand. It cost me a lot of money.
Roughly how much? Are we doing 10,000? Are we doing 5,000?
Yeah, you're talking about, just over 10. So
over 10,000?
Yeah, you're talking over 10. I don't want to shock anyone. I had the money, and I took a big gamble.
Let people know what it is so they know what to be prepared. So a big stand would cost how much in those days? A very big stand.
A big stand, the size that you're talking about 15,000 plus.
So you paid over 15,000 on.
Well, you're talking about the other costs
to have an
as well.
exhibition. For how long was the exhibition?
Printing. It was about 3-4 days.
3-4 days printing, everything that goes along with doing an exhibition.
It's a lot of preparation. Yeah,
right, okay.
Absolutely. So anyway, I picked up a few of my friends from uni. I'd like to give them a big thanks, really. And Shakil Khan from Accrington. I mean, he was an amazing guy.
Yes.
He really believed. In fact, he invested in my business.
MashaAllah.
You know, I don't want to make you laugh here, but he was investing £1 a week. I mean, he was only a student, so he was putting in £1 a week to buy shares in my business. And I will give him shares in my new ventures as well.
Oh, we're going to come on to that after the break. We've got 1 minute before the break, so you've got 1 minute to tell the story.
So I'm going to be very, very quick, and then we're going to continue after. We went there the first day, and I don't want to say that everything ran smoothly. It was a bit of a nightmare, and I'll explain after the break, you know, if you want to ask a short question, otherwise I'm going to go a bit too long.
Carry on until I say.
Okay, fine. Right, so it was a bit of a nightmare. We was near the entrance, so as you walk in, we was right there, big stand, as big as this studio, in fact, and it was four of us there on the first day, and everyone was just walking past. The whole place was mobbed, but nobody could see us, as if we were invisible.
Oh.
People just walking past as if they had other business, and I had a guy standing, one of my friends, he was standing at the entrance, directing people, just, you know, just turn left, and we're just there, Umacom's there. And then after a few hours, my friends kind of, you know,
they got bored.
They got bored. They didn't want to break my heart and tell me, you've lost your money, you've lost your investment here. They all knew how much I invested in this. So they said, well, we'll just take a break. There's no one coming now, and we'll look around. We'll try to get a few people. But I knew they didn't want to be there at the time. So what I did, I was all alone. No one was looking at me. So I just did a supplication to Allah. I said, Allah, I've made every effort to do this. I did this business with the intention to do good. I was going to make money, and I was going to do good things with it. I had a good niyyah, good intention in my heart. So I've tried everything. I can't do anything more than what I've done. Only you can help me. Only you can provide.
MashaAllah.
Inna Allah yarzuq man yasha min ghayri hisab. Verily, Allah gives rizq, gives sustenance to those who He wills without taking into account. That's what Allah says. This is His promise. He gives to people when you turn to Him. Man yattaqillah yaj'al lahu makhrajan wa yarzuqhu min haythu la yahtasib. Which means if you have your focus, your whole remembrance of Allah, and you believe in Allah so much, and you have taqwa in Him, He will, He will create an opening for you. He will solve your problems, all your affairs, and provide you sustenance and risk from places you least expect it. Allah likes to give you a surprise. You might think your money is coming from this direction, and it comes from right behind you, and you never thought about it. And from that, just by making that supplication, all of a sudden, as if people started to look at me, as if they said, what's this guy doing over there or something, or they noticed the name. And then gradually, one by one, started to come, and all of a sudden a stampede started to come up my stand. MashaAllah. And then my brother came, and all my friends came, and they just rushed in. And I was going around, I told my friends, just try to talk to people and all that stuff. And I was looking at the badges where it said like PLC company, group company, or any names that I would recognize, like Scottish Power or an airline. And I would tackle these people first. I would give them the priority. And the first purchase order, it was a small, modest order of 50,000 of these. No, it was just a little test run.
50,000.
It was a Netherlands company. It was a group company. They owned a few brands, a fairly large company. They just wanted to do a trial run. But what they asked from me was they wanted the items, the pens and lighters, for corporate gift purposes, to give like a giveaway during Christmas and New Year.
50,000.
And just like a trial run, like a test run. They were going to give it away anyway, so they weren't really negotiating on the price. And my prices were very low. I was like making a very, very small margin on everything that I was selling. I was beating the competition. I was in the exhibition. Plus, my products were innovative. They were unique as well. I was coming up with really good designs as well. From that point, once I had that order, a purchase order, all signed and sealed and ready, I started pointing to that success to other people. So all the other people, they said, well, have you got any track record? And I would say to them, well, I'm dealing with this company.
Oh, so today I've got an order for 50,000, so just today from this company.
I don't want to say to them, by the way, all I've sold to was Joe Bloggs, a shop owner in Aberdeen, he bought a couple of lighters from me. I didn't want to say that, so I was pointing to my most recent success.
So you prayed to God, and then you pointed to your success. On that note, we are going to a very short break. And inshallah, we will see you on the other side of the break. Thank you very much.